It isn't just that Springman, the head of the U.S. Embassy, reported here back in 2002 and since then repeatedly and told the Toronto News and the rest of the major news that al-Qaeda hijackers, they wouldn't let them into the U.S. They wouldn't give them visas, and they were ordered by the CIA to give them visas to come to the U.S. Muhammad Atta, all of them. Just like a year and a half ago at Christmas, Muttalib didn't have a passport, was drugged, clearly, according to witnesses. We had witnesses on before this was in the news. We're called nuts, and then it all came out. And that the U.S. government got him on the plane. And later, the State Department was going to get in trouble for it because the airport there in Amsterdam wasn't going to go along with the fact that they'd been ordered to let him on. And they said, okay, an unnamed U.S. agency ordered us to get him on the plane. That was Undersecretary of State Kennedy. See, months after we tell you, with eyewitnesses who were on the plane, I mean, these are prominent lawyers and people, it comes out. So, see, there's thousands of data points of why I don't just believe what they immediately tell me. Then there was the timing. There was the who benefits, the key bono, who stands to gain. There was Obama kicking off his re-election campaign. This happens on the heels of that. Panetta going from CIA to defense. Petraeus going from defense to CIA to make them like big heroes. The staged photos of Hillary watching video feeds of bin Laden being killed, but they only show us the photo. We don't get to see the TV. And she's, fake. It looks like a elementary school play. She's covering her mouth. Oh, goodness, it's terrible. And the other men are all acting tough, and Obama's looking real tough up there. And you see the generals typing on the computer. They're giving the orders. Gallup comes out and says, oh, my gosh, his poll numbers are surging, as we gather the new polls from this. You've got the fact that the wars were incredibly unpopular. You've got the fact that it was coming out they tried to assassinate Gaddafi and his family, which is illegal, regardless of what you think of Gaddafi. The CFR, Trilateral Commission, and Bilderberg Group at a joint meeting a few weeks ago in D.C. that Tucker covered last week on our show. They're beside themselves that it was in all the major news that al-Qaeda is the main force the U.S. is funding in eastern Libya. That completely shook them up because the myth of al-Qaeda being this organic group is coming down, and that credibility was rising with those of us that expose it as a government black op. You've got all this going on, so you can see the tailoring of the propaganda for the lowest common denominator. You can see the preparation for this to be designed for the type of crowds that we saw within minutes running down with their American flags and screaming, yeah, Obama did it, man, he's tough, he's great. And it turned out they were a bunch of inner city people predominantly who were big fans of Obama and thought this was a win. They are operating just like the political hacks, not about truth, but about what they think makes their man look good. When he's not their man. Wall Street put him in so they could get the corporate welfare and the banker bailouts and have tax-free agendas while the middle class are destroyed. But again, they were out there because they were winners. They were part of a winning team. And then we see Bush on top of the rubble pile all day from 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago. And, man, Bush has been proven right. And they're saying, ooh, they found out where bin Laden was with torture. And they killed him with extrajudicial attack. This is reasonable. And aren't the drones great? And, man, these unpopular wars and the Pakistanis now have said, get out of Pakistan, stop using your drones last week. And magically, as I said last night and this morning, now they're saying it, oh, they're saying Pakistan was working with bin Laden because he was in this compound and was safe. And so maybe Pakistan has to be hit. Right at the time that Saudi Arabia knows the West is trying to overthrow them, they run over a few weeks ago to make a deal with Pakistan. Pakistan's got nukes. And that's exactly what Hamid Gul was saying on the show today, high level in the whole power echelon of Pakistan. He's concurring with this. So they're maneuvering us towards a World War III scenario. Pakistan's saying, get out of here. They're losing the war in Afghanistan, but they want to stay there to control the $500 billion in opium a year, which Fox News admits the Marines actually help grow. If you're a new viewer or listener, just search Fox News, Geraldo Rivera, U.S. growing opium in Afghanistan. He sits there, and the troops go, yeah, we grow it for them. We ship it. We run the whole deal. And he's like, good job, very patriotic. They're like, yep. And there's no connection with reality. Well, are we going to legalize it in America? No, you get caught with a tiny balloon of $10 worth, you go to prison for 20 years. It's like, we grow it, we ship it in, you use it, you go into private prison owned by banks that launder the money. And that's all out in the news with Wachovia and Wells Fargo laundering money. That's what I mean. This elite has gotten away with so much for so long, killing Kennedy in broad daylight, Clinton lying about Lewinsky, missiling an aspirin factory. When it came out, he lied about Lewinsky. All the murders, the corruption, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And Anwar al-Awlaki, I was on a big international TV today, RT, and before I went on, they showed the 4 leaders of al-Qaeda now. Anwar al-Awlaki, Adam Gaddan, and the other guy from America, and then only one of them was from Egypt. All 4 are on record being Western intelligence, being trained at U.S. bases, being protected, being at the Pentagon after 9/11. And it's, I told the host that, and I said, I can give you the articles. And they said, yeah, we've basically heard of that, but still, you know, al-Qaeda's real. I was on a syndicated radio show this morning, and it's like, but the 4 masterminds, 3 were born in America and are protected by intelligence. This is on record, and they're just like, I'm not looking at that. But I'm telling you, isn't that news? They're like, why? Why would Bush not kill bin Laden or announce he was dead? Because they wanted him as the excuse to be in those countries and say he was the boogeyman. They go, oh. But see, now 10 years later, nobody's buying it, so they can get rid of him. They've already introduced, as I noticed the last few months, the new players. They've been telling you they're now the head guys so that you can learn to be afraid of somebody else and agree to the IRS taking your house without a court order, or agree to having the government stick their hands down you or your children's pants, or raise your taxes or loot your pension fund. Because even though the dollar's being devalued and we're going into this depression and all these things are happening, that's okay, because at least we got bin Laden. By George. I mean, and I heard neocons on the radio going, I kind of like Obama. I saw that photo of him launching the attack in there. He's looking a little better to me. I'm kind of liking government health care now. Boy. Because it's that tribalism when your leader, the chief, says, the other tribe is coming, we got to get together or they're going to kill us men. This is what every culture does. Take our women and children to make their tribe bigger and stronger and use them as lower-class slaves in their system. We're ingrained that when we're told an enemy's coming, and we're told we're under attack, to get together to fight. That's what humans do. But now we're like, why have we been in these countries for 10 years? Where's the enemy now? And they're like, don't worry, here's the 4 new leaders, but we killed the evil bin Laden. And we're like, oh, it's wonderful. And they go, but by the way, the war's not over. They're about to hit us with nukes. They got 160 buried, CBS News, AP. I saw in the last few weeks they were prepping everybody. They're going to hit us hard. We've got to take even more of your rights now because we hit bin Laden. You asked for it, and now they're going to attack us back. And it's just all over the news. Will death of Osama bin Laden trigger terror attacks? ABC News, NBC, threats, 160 nukes buried by al-Qaeda. On and on and on. And then we come out and say, well, there's this whole history of them being CIA. There's the other 8 times you said you killed them. There's all these special forces colonels that blew the whistle saying they would capture top al-Qaeda from 2001 through to today and be ordered to release them. We've got the heads of embassies, the FBI translators, all saying that al-Qaeda was working for the government. We've got it in the news last week that the head of Pakistani al-Qaeda was really an MI6 agent. That's Sky TV. Just search anything I say. You'll pull it up, mainstream news. Anwar al-Awlaki's at the Pentagon. This is perfect election time. And then we'd already written that last night before they came out this morning and said, we dumped his body in the ocean, sorry. And by the way, there's that photo we gave you for 12 hours, that's fake too, of his dead body. Knowing when people first saw it, oh, there's that dead body. I heard the good old boys today on local radio going, oh, I wish he'd have been chewed up by wild dogs. He looks pretty bad. Them SEALs and Marines did a good job. I'm walking tall right now. These are quotes. I'm feeling good right now. I'm believing in this country again. Yeah, you're believing to just go to sleep. Don't see the bankers as your enemy. Don't see the globalist. Just bend over, hate some brown people, and let the globalists have their way with you. So I've seen all of this unfold. I've seen all of this happen with all the predictability. And now they're playing Bush up there on the pile with the firefighters going, man, he was a great guy. He stood for America. Hundreds of people are showing up spontaneously, wink, wink, in Dallas, throwing flowers on his front gate. It's just the rehabilitation of the whole lie, the 10-year imperial war, getting you ready for the next big push. It's just so wonderful. And the torture's good. That's how they got him. Torture's wonderful. Extrajudicial killing, even of U.S. citizens that Obama's announced. Oh, it's good. We did it to bin Laden. And Gaddafi, then you're trying to kill him. Oh, it's what the good guy's doing. It just gets all the answers you need. And, yeah, they're going to hit us. They're going to attack us. Got all the White House memos where we need a terror attack to unify the people. On Oklahoma City or 9/11, we'll see now they can launch those and say, well, we hit bin Laden and he did it. And Americans will say, well, I'm glad they got him. He deserved it. Sure, they hit us, but now we're going to attack Iran and Pakistan and Libya and Syria. Because the intel is, just like Iraq had them nukes and them anthrax trucks that turned out to be fake and they knew it was fake, doesn't matter. We hit bin Laden, he deserved us, he hit us first, and they nuked Chicago, they nuked Dallas, or they detonated that dirty bomb in L.A., and you know what? That's just the way it is. So hundreds of thousands died. Doesn't matter, we're going to nuke them. I'm glad they brought the draft in. I'm glad they're conscripting people. It's time to get tough on these Muslims. And I'm glad they're arresting all these truthers and all these other birthers and people that got in the way of America. You sit down, you shut up. Yeah, they're getting rid of the pension funds right now. And yeah, but Al-Qaeda hit us. They're getting ready for terrorism. They're trial ballooning right now. Every government terror op, First World Trade Center, Oklahoma City, 9/11, they get bigger. Have you noticed that? And they've been hyping the nukes. And let me tell you, these people would love to blow out a few dozen city blocks with a low-yield nuke and radiate the rest of it. They'll do it in a minute. They've got the TSA in place. They got the telescreens up at 9,000 locations saying spy on your neighbors. They got government programs telling your kids to spy on you. For 6 years, they've had the Boy Scouts training to take on, quote, disgruntled veterans. They announced that 9/11 victims, the cops, the police, the firefighters, the medical workers, who for 9 years, patriots fought to get them their health care when the government lied, when Bush was up on that pile telling you the air was safe to breathe because they wanted to open Wall Street and they knew it was asbestos. They said, don't even wear a mask because it'll make people scared. We got them, don't wear them. Show your macho. And the guys are like, I'm macho. Tribal leader says so. The Ooga Boogas are coming over the next hill. I'm going to breathe it. I'm bleeding out of my lungs, but I'm tough. I'm just not going to wear it because I'm told. The dust is safe. I'm going to believe it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to walk off a cliff. They cried when Bush put his arm around. People knock these towers down. We're going to knock them down. And Obama comes out and says, we need to go back to that day after 9/11 when we had unity. Yeah, you were for torture, new wars, lies, getting rid of the Bill of Rights and Constitution. The government launched the anthrax attack. That's now been confirmed. U.S. government weapons grade. And there they are telling them. And now they've got to be run through an anti-terror database. Congress put it in the law that any first responder that gets medical care has to be put in a terror database, like a no-fly list, no gun-buy list. I've got that here in my articles. Here it is, Huffington Post on the left. 911 responders to be warned they will be screened by FBI's terrorism watch list to get health care. Here's New York Post. Oh, yeah, a lot of cities you have to go through TSA-type screening to even get a job now. It's total control of your whole life. TSA running checkpoints on the streets. Heroes terror scrutiny, New York Post, Rupert Murdoch, left and right. See, that's who this is for. It's for us, the American people, while the offshore bankers that funded and created Al-Qaeda are looting the country, killing the dollar. And I've heard them all over talk radio going, well, even private pensions you've paid into aren't entitled. We're going to take those, and we're going to take the government pensions. And that won't fix the debt. We're about to lose our debt rating. Everything was about getting America bankrupted, having America build the global empire, and then bringing America down. The globalists have always hated our republic. So that's what this special broadcast, commercial-free, is really all about, is that I wanted to go over some of this so that, you know, the Atlantic Magazine and New York Magazine and all these publications can sit there and make jokes and go, Alex just says the government did it with no evidence. Well, my evidence is the government is constantly lying. Let's bring a chair in here and bring Aaron Dykes in to talk. I know this guy's been working like a Trojan to get this new video up that I shot this morning, breaking just some of the anomalies down. But I wanted to get Aaron's take on it just because he came in here and let me know that that all this was going on. But finishing up, that our new video just went up on the Alex Jones channel at YouTube. That is what you were at the window for, correct? But now they're showing us Bush on the pile.